through anything and there's peace. But again, a few months after I was going through that, chemotherapy was difficult because every 3 weeks I had to go, and my employers were very kind to allow me to go. And that whole week of chemotherapy, that week would be a week when I'd feel no energy. I felt that I was lifeless, but still I thought, no, I have to go and work. And I continued working. I did not give up. I thought if I just pampered myself too much, I'll just sit and brood and feel miserable. But I need to move on. And my friends in school always encouraged me. They were always smiling and they always supported me. So that was good. And my students were so kind. I think they knew. I'm sure they knew. But nobody questioned. Nobody asked, Miss Maya, what's with your hair? Or why do you look different? Nobody. They're small, but they're so understanding. Yeah. And that I felt, God's grace. Yeah. I thought, God, you're really awesome. That you helped me go through this without feeling embarrassed. Right. And then, after a few months, my mother became even more sick. It was September, and then October she became really bad. And in the midst of her sickness, I was going back and forth to Singapore. And that felt bad too, because to see my mom sick, a mom who was so powerful, a woman of determination, always happy, and suddenly she was on bed and she had no energy. She did not know what I was going through. But that made me feel really bad. And I kept on going back and forth, and finally I finished all the treatments of chemo. And 1 week after that, my mom became very sick and she breathed her last. It was emotionally very disturbing for me, especially when I looked at my dad also. I saw that he knew what I was going through. And then here he lost his beloved wife, who he had been with for 65 years. Wow. He was a very positive man, always smiling, always happy in any circumstance. He would always smile. And even till the last day, he came to my mom and he said, Mom, I love you. He loved her so dearly. And when she left, he became very down. The will to live. A man who just loved life, we would give him a slice of bread and just tea, and he would say, wow, very nice. This is delicious. So good. I love the tea that you make. A person like that, and after that, he lost the spirit to live. Every Saturday I used to have breakfast with my dad. But every Saturday was difficult. He would hardly talk. And I tried to talk to him, but he was very quiet. So this was already November. Then December I had to go back to Singapore for radiation. And it was heavy for me to leave my dad for 40 days. Because I thought I want to spend every moment. I knew that he won't be here for too long. I knew that he no more had the desire to go on, Though he was in good health, he was never in hospital. But I returned to Singapore and I was hoping, God, don't let me stay 40 days, it's too much. I need to be with my dad. So the doctor, the radiologist, he looked at it, at my results. He said, you know what, the way I see, you're doing good progress. And even my oncologist, he said, I'm very proud of you. You're progressing really well. And the radiologist said, I don't think you need this 40 days. You can just finish 16 sessions. Wow, I thought, God, you're so awesome. Just 16. I can do that. And 6 days, the first 8 days I was in Singapore. Then it was Christmas. Everything would be closed. So I had 4 days. I told the doctor, can I go back to Jakarta? I want to spend Christmas and be with my dad. So I returned to Jakarta and I spent those 4 days. Again, came back to Singapore, went back and stayed there another 8 days. When I came back, I was able to spend time with my dad. January, I was with my dad, and February. And March, after his birthday, his health deteriorated. And he also, like my mom, got a lung infection. Then he was hospitalized on the 13th of March. And on the 23rd of March, he passed away. He breathed his last. But yes, it was a matter of just 4 months. And that morning, they were quite old, of course, 89. Yeah. It was a Monday evening, and he was looking so radiant. He was smiling, and he looked really happy. He said, let's go. We used to take him for a drive. I made it a point every evening to take him for a drive. So he looked at me, he said, let's go. So I thought, for a drive. I said, Dad, you want to go for a drive? Okay, tomorrow we'll go for a drive. Then he said, I want to wear a suit. Then I was a bit worried, but I thought, no, he looks so radiant. He looked really cheerful and smiling. But we didn't know that night. And I asked him, Dad, how are you feeling? And he looked at me and he gave us 2 thumbs. He said, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So I thought, wow, this man is powerful. But that's it. We came home not knowing that was it. That was his last. And that was another thing to go through after the chemotherapy and the radiation. We went through all that. But then again, I felt that he is in a better place. And I'm sure he's, in God's loving arms with my mom. And he was really longing to be with her. So it gave us kind of peace, but of course said to let them go. However old our parents are, we don't want them to go. We want them with us forever.
Yes.
They can be 89 or whatever age. We love them, and and I felt that my dad had taught me so many things: to be positive, to be God-fearing, and also to love God. And then as a Christian, I learned that God is with us in every part. We are never alone. We are never alone. Times with the year 2009, May to 2010, April, that was the most difficult time in my life. But I realized God did not leave us. And God has promised us that troubles will come. Because He has never promised us that life will be with no trouble, right? Troubles will come. But He said, when troubles come, I will be with you. You will never be alone. I'll not leave you nor forsake you.
Amen.
Yeah, so and then there were some lessons that I learned from this. That God will not leave us nor forsake us during our darkest moments, and He will always strengthen us by His presence, and He'll envelop us with His abounding love. And the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and He saves those who are crushed in spirit. That's Psalm 34 verse 18. And they that wait upon the Lord shall not be weary. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. So we are like eagles, and I'm sure God's hands are upon each one of us.
Amen.
And I believe He's going to touch each one of us.
Okay, a little bit of Maya's story. Actually, Maya was a widow at a very young age with 2 girls. Okay, her husband passed away, and her father and mother took care of her. They brought her back home, and her father supported her and took care of her. Of course, she became a teacher. She started earning on her own. But being a widow, not having anybody, her parents was the best that she ever had. Yeah, so that's how it is. And she took a long time to be a Christian because she
Yes.
thought, one, because of her wrong marriage and a widow, and the second, she thought, I have 2 daughters, who will marry my daughters? And one daughter is married to a very good Christian doctor. Another daughter is in love with a very good Christian. So both of them are getting the marriage, and both of them are getting everything. So Maya got it all now. After all these problems, God always gives